Tjena, what's up guys, how's it going? Today is the first actual episode in the new series Develop with Monday. Today we're going to learn quite a bit of stuff. We're gonna start the whole project out with first mapping it out in Trello. But first, let's make some coffee. Kippis. And to top it off, we also have laskiaispulla ski bun. Alright, so before we get started, let's go through what we're actually making. So let's head to the computer. Pyry's already sitting there.
Yeah, the first thing is that we have to identify a few stories and the tasks for the application we are making. And should we tell about the application or
let's do it. So Pyry had an original idea of making a really simple view where you can see if a product is available
in some store.
In some store.
I was trying to look for the product called nyhtökaura, pulled oat. And the problem, at least in Helsinki and probably everywhere in Finland, is that you can't find it from nowhere.
Yeah.
There
It's so popular.
Yeah. We had a plan that we would make an application that people could use and point that from this store you could find a pulled out product.
Yep.
And then it would pop up to the map, and then you could open the application and see from the map straight that okay, those are the shops near me that have the pulled out.
Exactly. Sounds really simple, but just in order for us to start coding this, we need to define some of the features that should be in the software. So the next phase is then to map them out into tasks, and we use a tool called Trello to list them and also prioritize them.
You can see from here we have already identified few stories here on the backlog, and then few tasks that belong to those stories. And now we just have to identify more stories and then start doing the tasks.
And the good part of this is now also that this was supposed to be a training project for me, but at the same time Pyry also got really excited about this, and he made some tasks for himself to build a backend for this project. So that's not something I'm going to learn. So instead we're going to list them here so both of us get something out of this project.
And also, since we are building the real application, it needs to have a backend and the database and stuff like that. So it's mandatory for to get the working application to be used.
Exactly.
But yeah, since the Trello doesn't have the grouping for the tasks or the cards, so that the tasks would be under the bigger card called story, we have to hack the way Trello does that. And the way we do it is we have those emoji icons here. The big or whatever this is means that this task belongs to the map view story, and the stories are labeled with the green, and then the tasks are labeled with the purple or violet, whatever the color is.
So we're now gonna add a few more stories and tasks, but I guess you don't want to see it, so let's speed it up. So what we've done now is, based on our experience doing web development, we know some of the stories we need to get done in order for us to get the product actually completed. Basically, we're gonna try to write up everything we at the moment know we want to do. And you don't need to make everything now. You can come back to the Trello and add more tasks when you find
with new stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So this is just a to-do list basically.
So the next phase is to make some UI design stuff using the pen and the paper, since this is the most simple way to visualize stuff for the software.
So yeah, let's start drawing some UIs, and let's speed it up as well. So now we've been drawing and we came to the conclusion that none of us is actually a Picasso, but we got the main concept down to a few screens and we're much closer now to start making an actual front-end UI. So
and by the look...
No, sano vaan.
By looking at this, you actually might think that we are a Picasso, since this is quite modern.
It's quite modern art.
Yeah.
So what we basically did is we took the stories from Trello and listed them out. So we have the map view and the list view. So what we did is we discussed and at the same time sketched down what we were thinking. So really simple, but a very effective way of concretely showing what I was thinking.
Yeah, that's basically, I think these are the most, like, the complicated UI stuff is now written here, drawn here, so it's quite easy to catch up from these, that what should we start coding in UI wise, I mean. And now Samuel is going to make wireframes from the design we made to the paper using the tool called Sketch.
Yeah, if you're not familiarized, if you don't know Sketch from before, it's a tool with which you can design UIs and it's really good. You can use Photoshop as well, it doesn't really matter. I myself like Sketch a lot. We also made a video about Sketch before, so you can click here and watch that if you're interested. So we decided we're not going to make the UI ourselves, but instead base it on a framework. We are going to use Bootstrap for this, and Bootstrap is basically a tool which provides ready-made styling, so you don't have to think about that at all. It just lets you focus on the development part. So let's get started with wireframing the application. This isn't supposed to be beautiful, but instead just taking what we did on the sketching and trying to figure out if we can do the same thing with Bootstrap. So just figuring out what's possible and what's not. It's much easier to do it at this stage than when you're actually coding.
Actually, in the introduction video, we promised that we would already start coding in this episode, but soon we realized that it's not possible since we don't ourselves have a clear view for the concept. So this is the video that we actually clarified the concept to ourselves, but also to you, that you know that what the application is going to be about.
Yeah, and this is also a learning period for us. Hopefully you will also learn something from the video. If you did learn something and you found this video valuable, we would definitely enjoy it if you left a like on the video. And if there was something that was left unclear, please leave a comment below and let's continue the discussion over there. Thank you so much for watching.
Thank you.
See you next week.
Bye.
Bye.